and wise because they followed a star. Out of the Orient they traveled afar, looking for the Savior, made a change in their behavior. If you were wise and you will look for him too, he really cares and he is waiting for you. Look for him today, a star is leading the way. Why did the wise men go? Because they followed the star. What made them right both day and night will fall? How could they check to see where he would be? They didn't have a way of knowing to where they would go. What they did to wise men look for him too. They simply had to sit aside for you. Look at home, they could not stay. The star was leading the way. A 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 star was leading the way.
Imagine that. We were the first ones to see the baby Jesus.
Now, hold on there, Hank. The wise men wasn't the first to see him.
No.
Well, then who was?
Shepherds.
Shepherds? You sure you got that right, Grits?
I think you must mean cattlemen.
No, shepherds. And they were invited real personal-like by a whole heap of angels.
Yeah. But shepherds?
That's right. They were out on the trail, minding their own business, keeping an eye out for coyotes and rustlers and the like, when all of a sudden, a bright light shone all around them.
Glory.
That's what it was, all right. And right there in the sky above them, there proceeded to be the most rip-snorting, hand-clapping, foot-stomping, wing-flapping hoop-de-doo that ever hit them parts. What a sight for every shepherd's eye when the light of glory filled the sky and the angels raised their voices high and they had them heavenly go down. Listen up, shepherds, don't you fret. I got some news, the best news yet. Now pass it on and don't forget. We're having a heavenly hold down. Polish your halos, here we go. Tune your hearts and play on low. Come in to wait for a do-si-do. We're having a heavenly hold down. Don't you worry, shepherds, don't you fear. Here's some news to make you full of cheer. Down in Bethlehem, the Savior's here, so we're having a heavenly hold down. Cheer up, you folks all weary worn in Bethlehem, the Savior's born. Gabriel, play it on your horn. Having a heavenly hold down. Polish your halos, here we go. Tune your hearts and play them low. Continue wait for a do-si-do. We're having a heavenly hold down. Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plain. Ain't the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strain. Yippee-ki-yay-o. Though they wondered how this thing could be, what the angels sang of gleefully, they decided that they'd go and sing at the end of the heavenly hold down. Don't look in the inn, don't look in the shed. Angel in the stable is his bed, wrapped in swaddling. Go ahead, they're having a heavenly hold down. Polish your halos, here we go. Tune your hearts and play them low. Tuck in your wait for a do-si-do. We're having a heavenly hold down. We're having a heavenly hold down. Yeah! Well, after a long drummer like that, they couldn't hardly stand still. So they all hightailed it down to Bethlehem to have a look-see at the new king.
You mean they left their flocks?
Oh, it was just a bunch of dumb old sheep.
You don't seem to understand, Hank. Them sheep might have been all they had in the world. But it wasn't so much what they left, but that they left it, and what they left it for. They left it all to find the Lord. They left it all to find the Lord. They put aside their care of earthly treasures just to see his face. They left it find the Lord. And they were glad to run to meet their Savior, thankful for God's grace. Now, shepherds ain't the richest folk in the world, but still they got up and left everything they owned right there on the hillside. Got up and went down to Bethlehem. Even them that was just hired hands went, risking their jobs by leaving. And for what? To go into town looking for a baby. Of course, this wasn't just any baby. He was the Savior of the world, the Son of God, Christ the Lord. And they found him too, just like the angels said they would. Well, sir, hearing that story makes me stop to think. Would I have left everything to find the Lord? Is there something in my life that would have held me back and kept me from coming face to face with my Savior? Is there anything that's coming between me and Him now? Is there anything that's keeping you from finding Him? Would I have gone, leaving all that I owned in sight? Would I have gone, knowing what I might lose? It were me, watching over my flocks that night, would he be the one I would choose? They left it all to find the Lord. They left it all to find the Lord. They put aside their cares of earthly treasures just to see His face. They left it all to find the Lord. They left it all to find the Lord. And they were glad to run to meet their Savior. And they were thankful for God's grace.
Ain't Christmas wonderful?
Yeah, it sure is. But let me get back to my story. It had been a long time since Mr. Bumbershoot had come by, and Pa still hadn't come home. Young Lizzie had gone to bed, but I don't mind telling you that the boy and his ma were getting powerful worried.
Maybe he fell off a cliff and broke his leg. Don't talk like that, son. Or maybe a grizzly bear got him. Honestly, son, there are no grizzly bears around here. There aren't? No. Oh. Maybe he was trampled by a stampede of angry wombats. Wombats? Now, son, that is quite enough.
Catherine?
Charles? Pa?
Home at last.
Charles, where have you been? Yeah, Pa. You were supposed to be back 3 days ago. What happened?
Well, it's a funny thing. You know how moss is supposed to grow only on the north side of a tree?
Yes.
It doesn't.
Maybe you got lost?
Well, I wouldn't say lost exactly.
But you didn't stop and ask anyone for directions, though, did you?
There wasn't exactly a stagecoach way station on every corner, Catherine. In fact, there wasn't even a corner on every corner.
So what'd you do?
Well, after wandering around in a bewildered sort of way for almost a day, a fella in as nice a set of buckskins as I ever laid eyes on just sort of appeared out of nowhere. He never said a word, but he led me out of the woods right in the middle of the storm and brought me to the edge of our valley. That's when I finally knew where I was. When I turned to thank him, he was gone.
Now, Charles.
It's true, Catherine, I promise. I believe God sent an angel to get me home.
Wow, a real angel?
Yes, sirree. And it got me thinking about how much God cares about little folk like us. People are lost. just like I was in that storm. And God sent his son to show them the way home.
Oh, Charles, that's so true. Just like he sent that stranger to lead you out of the woods.
Indeed. But he didn't make me follow him. I just somehow knew I could trust him. And folks should realize they can trust Jesus too.
And if they follow him, he'll help them get unlost.
I reckon you could put it that way. I'm sorry I couldn't get home a little sooner, though. I surely did want to get to the Christmas Eve social at church.
We missed it too, but having you home is better.
Thank you, son. I can tell you that being home is better too.
So, even though it wasn't the kind of Christmas anybody had planned, it turned out to be mighty special. In fact, it was my best Christmas ever.
Your best Christmas ever?
Why, sure. I was the bright young lad in the story, Cody. My pa getting home meant more to me than any social could ever mean.
I knowed it was you. I knowed it. But there's one thing I don't understand though.
What's that?
What kind of folks would give their kid a name like Grits?
You chunkhead. Grits is just a nickname he got from being a trail cook.
That's right. If that don't matter none. The whole reason I told you that story was so you'd understand something.
You know, I think I understand. Christmas ain't just a day to get presents. It's a day to remember the best present of all, Jesus.
Yeah, and to remember that God really cares about folks. That's why he sent his son to be born as a human, so as he could prove it once and for all.
Bullseye. I think you boys got it. And even though we might be celebrating up on Red Rock Ridge, it can still be the best Christmas ever. 'Cause it don't really matter where you are or what you're doing at Christmas. When Jesus is living in a person's heart, it's like Christmas every day. When the Christmas spirit's growing, it's got a way of showing that you can make a friend with just a smile. So we all say howdy there, and we pray that God will bless. Oh, there's nothing like a Christmas in the wild.